So the past year, we've been told how bad and terrible this film was. It just received its Rotten Tomato score, a very low score at that. I believe it's in the 30s somewhere. And Warner Brothers in DC has been doing their utmost to bury and hide this film. No premiere or anything of that to be told of. And guess what? After all that, I liked the film, believe it or not. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom did its job. It did exactly, maybe not exactly, but it did what it was supposed to do. The way I look at it and how I feel about this film, if you're a fan of the first Aquaman film, there should be little reason that you don't like this film. Jason Momoa is Jason Momoa. You could see that he really loves this Arthur Aquaman character. His soul and passion is definitely what this character, Patrick Wilson and King Orm, phenomenal. He's a great actor, and they brought it here in this movie, in my opinion. And you know what? That's kind of refreshing, because originally coming in here, one of my biggest issues that this film would feel like Thor: The Dark World with Loki and Thor. Gladly, it did not, because the chemistry between Patrick and Jason here was phenomenal. The buddy, brotherly cop aspect between the two was handled perfectly, in my opinion. What more can I say? The tone of the film, you know what? Even the cheesy and the campiness worked for me, because it was not as excess as the first film, in my opinion. It was a little toned down, and it worked for the most part. Now, this film, I definitely had some issues with it. I will say that. For the most part, I like the action, but I felt like there was something missing as far as it wasn't long enough. It was very like 1 or 2 minute cuts of action here. I felt like it should have been a little bit drawn out. And a big issue that I do have, in my opinion, the first Aquaman film, and I know I'm comparing, I shouldn't, but I have to here. The first Aquaman film has, in my opinion, one of the best third acts of all comic book history, period. So I didn't expect the same coming here, but I expected something epic, to say the least. And that's another issue I had with this film. There wasn't anything epic here whatsoever. Nothing that I could think of for the 2 hours that I found epic. Also, the ending was not a little, it was a lot of anticlimactic, man. I don't understand what they were doing with the ending. And last, the Black Manta character. It pains me to say, because I think Yaya is a very good actor, but here, man, it's definitely the materials, not the actor. He was just your generic run-of-the-mill villain, in my opinion, bro. Especially for somebody who's out for revenge or vengeance for his father being killed. I wanted to feel some emotional stakes from his character, but like I said, he was that mustache twirling, generic plan villain, in my opinion, and that really, really hurts to say, because he was one of the weakest parts in the first Aquaman too. So for him to be a weak part here will show no growth, man. And his plan didn't really much make sense, because yeah, never mind. But with all that being said, man, I still really enjoyed the film. The first 2 acts were pretty good to me, to the point that I was like borderline loving this film. So that's saying a lot. It's just the third act towards the end that it really started to derail a little bit. But the first 2 acts, the pacing was good. They throw a lot in here, I will say that. They throw the kitchen sink in here, but somehow this film still feels streamlined and easy to follow. You feel me? Like, there's a lot in here, but it didn't take the story in these unforeseen places and things of that nature. So yeah, man, overall, last note I gotta say, the saving grace for this film, just as the first film, James Wan, Jesus, his masterclass of directing, oh my God. Without him, I don't know where these 2 films would be. But man, thank God we had him for this short one. And RIP to DCEU.